Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and no normal intro in the parking garage this time. Here, I was actually at Encore for a dinner at the Rare Steakhouse. The place, super bougie. The food was pretty good, but they actually overcooked my steak, as you can see. Unfortunate that happened, but the place was pretty cool, and I was there to have dinner, but obviously, if you're at Encore, you're gonna mix in a session. So before we get into the hands of the quick session that I played this night, gonna go over some quick announcements. First, merch. If you like what you see, click the link down below in the description if you want to check out some Rampage Poker gear. Would really appreciate it. Just go ahead, click on it. Appreciate you guys for checking it out. That means a whole lot. And secondly, my Meetup tournament. I wanted to announce this because the date is coming up March 14th. I'm working with a really great charity and a really great organization called Why Me, pretty local in central Massachusetts. So March 14th in Worcester. Click also the link down below as well to check that out. If you want more information about what they're all about, I'll actually have some information at the end of this video to tell you guys what they do for families struggling with childhood cancer. So without further ado, we'll get into some of these hands and hopefully you enjoy. But first, smash that like button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate you guys liking the button. Helps the channel grow and also with the YouTube algorithm. Also comment below if you're going to be at the Meetup game tournament in Worcester. $100 buy-in, and that includes all the food, all the drinks, entertainment, all that fun stuff. Can't wait to meet you guys and support a good cause at the same time. So definitely comment below if you plan on attending. Let's go over the first hand of the session. We have Ace Jack offsuit in the small blind, $300 in our stack. An early position player opens it up to $10. We get a pretty recreational late position player who calls, and here I'm going to make the call as well. So off to a flop. Flop comes ace, 4, 6, 2 spades out there. So top pair, decent kicker with our ace, I guess, and out of position. I check, and the pre-flop raiser bets $25. The recreational player in late position tanks for a significantly longer time than expected and ends up making the call. Here with one pair, not going to be raising here. Just going to call, evaluate a turn card, and see what happens. So we make the call as well. Off to a turn, which comes a queen of clubs, and here I check. The pre-flop raiser jams his whole stack in for $97 total. The late position player folds and actions onto me. This queen is actually a pretty good card for us as it makes pocket queens and ace queen fairly unlikely. So expecting my ace to be good here a decent amount of the time. Maybe he's just on the flush draw and jamming. That's a very high possibility, but we're not folding in this spot even if we are beat. So we go ahead and call the $97 total, and we're off to a river. River comes a deuce of spades. He shows queen jack of spades, and he takes it down there. So turned the pair and flush draw, went with it, and he got there. And we're starting off stuck in a hole. Next hand we'll go over, we have pocket sevens in the cutoff, and there's the middle position player open to $11. There are 4 callers in total. I don't know the action, but I'm in position and actually very much in position here. So here in the cutoff, 4 callers, 5 ways to a flop. We're gonna see what happens. Flop comes 7, 8, 9, 2 hearts. Super wet. The most connected board you could ask for. And we have bottom set. Action ends up on the big blind actually, and he leads out for $30. The pre-flop raiser makes the call and actions onto me when it folds around. Here, definitely going to be raising here with bottom sets. You just gotta be charging for all the draws in the world here. So I raised to $110. Everyone snap folds to the pre-flop raiser who tanks and thinks about it for a while. He tries to talk to me, and usually, if you've played with me in the past, I'm not a big talker at the table. I'm really bad at table talk. That's definitely one of the things that the social game of poker is something I really struggle with. But I've had a glass or 2 of wine at the steakhouse, and we're feeling it. So when he talks to me, I gotta talk back because he's looking like he's gonna fold. And he says to me, quote unquote, I'm totally full of it. I'm totally full of shit. And I gotta say something to him. He asks me what I have, and I tell him I don't have Jack 10. Then he says, yeah, I know you don't have Jack 10. Doesn't seem like it. He tanks for a while. He really looks like he's about to fold, and I just have to say something. So I say, hey, no shame in folding here while he's thinking there. So I really want him to call, obviously. I just have him totally dominated. Maybe his pair in a straight draw that he might want to go with. Really trying to get him to put his stack in there, but ultimately he ends up folding. He starts yelling at me because he's a little tilted. I don't know what his deal is, but It was a fun table. It was a fun banter to kind of discuss and talk about here. So unfortunately, didn't get any value from him, but he was so close to calling. He said he had like top pair or something like that. So that would have been cool to get a call, but we take it down with pocket sevens and a set. Following hand, we have pocket jacks on the button. Middle position player open limps. A cutoff raises it up to $15. And here with pocket jacks, with jiggities, my bad, I'm sorry, let me restart. With jiggities here, I 3-bet to $45, and only the cutoff makes the call. So we're off to a flop in a 3-bet pot in position. Flop comes queen 3-4 rainbow, and he checks to me. Here with an overcard to our pair on a super dry board in a 3-bet pot. I'm just going to have to check back for pot control and hope for the best. Don't think I can get a whole lot of value from worse. So I just check and we're off to a turn. Turn comes a jack of hearts. So brings in a backdoor flush draw, and obviously it kind of improves our hand. But when he checks to me, it just seems like I'm not going to get a whole lot of value from much here, realistically. Got to bet for something though. So here just doesn't think, I don't think he has a queen ever. Just trying to polarize myself. If he does have a super strong hand, he's going to have to go with it anyways. So I bet $85 to polarize myself and also maybe look like I have ace-king. He folds and tells me that he had ace-king. That wasn't what I was trying to go for, but we turned a set, and that's cool. Hand after that, we have queen-jack of clubs in the big blind, and there are 4 limpers to me. I'm going to be raising things up here multi-way with some suited Broadway cards. I go with a sizing of $23. We get one caller in middle position. This player goes by Richie Guns, who watches the vlogs, so shout out to you. And it's a pretty friendly table, as you could tell, a lot of banter. And he tells me that he's going to predict that I'm probably going to c-bet the flop. And he asked me what sizing I go with, and I tell him, hey, I'm just going to c-bet $25 and see what happens. So we're out of position here, and we're off to a flop. The flop comes 9, 10, ace, 2 diamonds out there. So a flop open-ended, and definitely a flop that I would c-bet on, especially ace high. So we go ahead and bet $25. He thinks for a little bit and calls. When he makes the call, I tell him that I'm going to double barrel once again for $60. And we're off to a turn. Turn comes the king of diamonds. Flush draw gets there, but we obviously improve to Broadway. So pretty good card, and going with my plan, just verbalizing the bets before the cards come here. It's kind of ridiculous, but I bet $60. He thinks once again for a little bit and ends up making the call. We're off to a river. Table talk has ended now because this is becoming an actually serious pot. The river comes the king of hearts. This is a pretty interesting card here, to say the least, because realistically, I have a straight, but what kind of hands could really call a third bet here on the river that's worse than a straight? And not a whole lot. Realistically, I'm just going to be targeting trip kings, and trip kings don't really make a whole lot of sense here. So here, I'm actually going to be checking out of position, see what happens. Kind of want to get to showdown, but he throws a bet of $100. Now, decision time. Things have gotten a little bit more serious, and just trying to dissect what kind of hands he could have. With this $100 bet against a fairly good player, I just know that this is never a bluff, and it's definitely for value. So once we dissect that and looking at the strength of our hand at best is just a bluff catcher, it seems like at this point. The flush gets there. There's a ton of boats. There's a ton of boats available as well in his limping range. What could we possibly beat that he's trying to get value on the river here? Like I said, could he be overplaying trip kings, or does he ever have trip kings in this spot? Like, I can't think of a hand that would limp pre-flop and continue on the flop there, call a $25 bet with a king in there, unless it's king 10 or king 9. So I think about it for a while. I end up saying that I'm a huge nit for probably folding this, but at the end of the day, I just don't think I can call here. I think I'm beat a ton of the time, so I end up folding. We're friendly. I tell him that I folded a straight, and a hand or two later, after trying to get it out of him, he tells us that he had king 9, so nice hand to Richie. Shout out to you. You got there on the river, and I'm just happy that I made a pretty good fold, and I wanted to show that on the vlog. So super nice playing with you, Richie. Super nice playing with you that night. The last hand we will go over, we have ace-10 offsuit and the button. There's an undergun player who limps, recreational player, and actions onto me. Going to raise it up to $15 in position here. We get 2 callers, they small blind and under the gun. So off to a flop. Flop comes king, queen, jack, rainbow. Yep, that is the flop that we're going for. The small blind player checks and actions onto the under the gun player, who jams his entire stack. Unlinked player open rips it all in for a massive amount of $28. Cool beans. Well, we're going to call the $28. The other guy folds, so looks like we're pretty good here. I show my hand because we flopped it. And the run-out's clean. We take it down. Huge pot of like $80. I don't really know. I got max value there, that's for sure, though. What up, guys? Well, we are out of the cash game, if that makes any sense. I don't even know why I said that. No intro today. I forgot to record one. I had a nice steak dinner here at Rare at Encore. That was nice. That was a good time. Pretty good food. Way too fancy to be wearing sweatpants and joggers there, but that is what happens. Anyways, today's session was pretty lame. It was really lame, pretty tame. Not a whole lot of action, I guess. Final results aren't too significant, very break even. I think I played for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, give or take, maybe 4 hours, I don't know, but called it quits because it's 2 a.m. or a little bit after 2 and just didn't want to be here anymore. So that was it, I had enough. So I was in the game for 500, out of the game for 535. Huge profit, I know, 35 bucks. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I made a really good fold with a straight, which I'm quite proud of, and even more proud of that that I was right with my fold too. Like, I liked my fold without knowing what he had, but then once he told us that he boated up on the river there, I am very happy with myself for laying that down, because I think that's some improvement at least. Regardless, that was it. Really quick and short session today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got some entertainment out of that. But after that, we're on to the next video. Wish us luck in the next one. If you've watched up to this point, please smash that like button. I really would appreciate it for the YouTube algorithm. Join my Facebook group if you haven't already. Merch, yeah, merch. That is available as well, so appreciate that if you guys want to check out some merch, because that'd be sick. And if you want to see more videos get notified every time, smash that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Hi, I'm David Hagan. I'm the Executive Director at Wyme and Sherry's House. We're a nonprofit 501c3 that provides support services for families with childhood cancer. We're located in Worcester, Massachusetts. So I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the work that we do. So support services for families with childhood cancer. Sounds great, but what does that mean? The support really falls in two camps. It's the practical stuff and the fun stuff. Practical stuff would be limited financial assistance, support groups for families in active treatment, and also bereavement groups. We look at all the ways that the families' lives have been disrupted and look at, what could we do to solve those problems and provide a little support and guidance. In terms of the fun stuff, we do summer camp, vacation camp, movie nights, game nights, cookouts, really anything to get the families together outside the hospital setting. Kids meet other kids, parents meet other parents. We also have Sherry's House, which is in Tatnick Square in Worcester, which is also our headquarters, and we can also provide residential services for families who have relocated to this area for care for their children. There's a lot to describe with the work that we do, but I would urge listeners and followers to check us out on the web at www.wyme.org. Follow us on Facebook. Please check out the photos and the programming that we provide. And if you're a donor, if you're a volunteer, or if you're a family interested in services, or know someone in your community who would benefit from a conversation, please feel free to check us out. So again, that's www.wyme.org. Thank you.